Welcome to Money Sense. Glad to have you here. We're just going to take some time to work through this module and what you can anticipate. My name is Robert. I'm with Family Service Thames Valley. I'm part of the credit counseling program. I've been doing this for over 15 years now. I've had the opportunity to meet people all across London, work with all different groups. I just want to acknowledge that as you deal with this, it's a difficult conversation. And I always start my presentations with people who are on low incomes or Ontario Works by first just recognizing that. There is a difficulty in approaching finances when people themselves are frustrated. They're finding that they really don't make it to the end of the month without feeling under a lot of weight and stress. So it's okay to be that way. We meet with people every day in our office of all different incomes and have these tough discussions with them. And it's just it's a good time to open up. Staying positive is a good direction to stay in, although you yourself may find it frustrating or have a hard time in relating to exactly what they're going through. That's okay. They appreciate a listening ear and someone that's open to spend some time with them. So the stress around finances is very high, especially the lower the income, as they try to keep up with society around them. They see the same commercials, they get the same advertisements, they have their kids coming home from school wanting the same stuff, but yet they don't have the finances to make it stretch. So by now, in your sessions, you would have already introduced in week 4 the tracking sheet. This is a great exercise. Don't get too frustrated or upset if somebody doesn't keep the sheet. While it's of great benefit, this is the session that we have found, not only myself here in London and my coworker, but we've talked to credit counselors and budget and money management people all across Canada. People struggle with this. So as you come across this, encourage them each week as you lead up to this session. Are they keeping track? Are they watching their finances? This is an important aspect. For budgeting, this is one of the key aspects. Before decisions can be made, before people move forward to make some goals or make some changes, they have to know their starting point. So the tracking the spending sheet is a great starting point. It's the discussion starter for everything else in the budget. So just encourage them as you go through week by week. You also noticed in your training that you'll have a couple of icebreakers you can choose from. One of the icebreakers available to you is called Bringing Home the Bacon. It works like a game show. You can set up some teams. It's a lot of fun. They can compete with one another, and it touches on finances and other part of a financial plan in some depth. So there's some fun to it. You might want to have some small prizes or something for them just to introduce them and get them warmed up for it. You can find that by simply going to the credit counseling website, so FamilyServiceThamesValley.com. Hit the credit counseling tab. Right underneath that way, partway down the page, you'll see the link to the game. And make sure you have your speakers up. It's fun. We find people enjoy it of all ages, just sitting down. And it gives that little competition to the teams. It allows them to relax a little bit. You'll also be doing a case study. Case studies are fun. They take some time, so you're going to have to manage your time as you go through. But case studies give you the opportunity to watch their decision-making skills. One of the things that they will have to do at this session is to take the time to give each dollar a job. And that might not be something that they've ever done before, is to look at the income and say, okay, I'm going to assign each of my dollar bills something for them to do, whether it's rent or food or entertainment. Taking that approach will be very new for them, but it is an approach that works. It's time tested. It helps people to make the decisions that they need to make. So I would start off with the fixed expenses, the things that stay the same each month. Included in that, I would encourage them to have a fixed expense for groceries. Groceries can be one of those things that get away from people. One of those items that it's easy to go to the grocery store and pick up a lot of wants and sort of fun foods or comfort foods, but help them to stick to a priority on that. So they're going to have their rent, maybe their cable television, things that don't change too much. The variable expenses will be some of the other things that go on, whether it be clothing or whether it be some entertainment if they can fit in that budget. There are things that will change on a regular basis, depending on how many children they have or if their children are in school or still at home. Flexibility is a key. With inside any budget, even in the lowest income budgets, I encourage people to take a look at their spending and try to save a little bit of money, even if it's $5, because it's within that gives them the flexibility. If something comes up, they can meet the need. One of the tips we give people, especially on Ontario Works or ODSP, is as soon as their money comes in at the first of the month, if they have found in the past that they've been really stretched for groceries at the end of the month, we encourage them to get a grocery card. Something from the grocery store they go all the time, whether it's $15, $20, $25, buy that right away so that they don't spend the money elsewhere and just keep it in a safe spot. So if it comes to the end of the month, they have that money, gives them a little flexibility with things. But they're going to have to be willing to look at their plan on a weekly basis and see how the spending is going, which direction they're going in, how much money is left over, and be ready for a few surprises. That's why encouraging even a small amount of money aside to handle some of those emergencies is important. But let's all keep in mind to remind them of the community resources that are available. Even your local school. I know the school councils set aside money, so if something comes up and the family can't handle it, I'd encourage them to talk to the principal. I know I sat on school council for 10 years. We always set money aside to help those that need it, because we want to be able to see as a student or as a school, their students succeed and to be able to move forward. Now, the budgeting process that you'll be doing, it's a personal exercise. It will be something that you're really going to have to watch. And it's a time to sort of set, well, it's not sort of, but it's time to set your judgments aside in how you would do things. You'll have people that will come into your sessions and they'll be very visually oriented. So they're going to want something like an envelope system. Now, it doesn't work great for rent, but for things like maybe Tim Hortons or for a grocery budget or for entertainment with the kids, they can put money in an envelope and then spend out of that. And when the envelope's empty, they're done. For others, they're going to prefer something maybe on a calendar to watch the cash flow, see how money comes in and goes out. Cash flow is key in a lot of this. A simple calendar method of tracking their money each month and their expenditures works great. For others, they're going to be more computer savvy. They're going to want something that's on their phone. There's all kinds of apps out there. TD has an app that's mobile only. Royal Bank has a budgeting system that their clients can look at. Bank of Montreal also has something. It's a program called Mint out there. There's another program called You Need a Budget. For those who want to follow through their expenditures in more of a formal way, there are places or programs they can get that cost money called, Quicken runs them, called Cash Money Manager. Also, Every Dollar Count, Every Dollar, which is by Dave Ramsey out of the States. Well, it won't download information for them from their local bank. They will be able to follow and plan out their spending each month. It's a great tool. They don't have to be computer savvy as far as knowing how to make their own Excel spreadsheet up, but it's there for them. So there's all kinds of methods that people can use. One of the things you'll have to do is sort of step back as the facilitator. Let them find something that works for them. Even this week, I had someone in my office. I had them go out for a month, try Mint. When they returned, it just wasn't working for them. So they came back, we sat down again, found some other things for them. Finally, they settled on Every Dollar. They went over it, looked at it. We looked at it at the office. They thought it was great. Some of these resources that I've given you, you can look on the net, and YouTube's a wonderful place to find some of those resources and people who will show you how they work. The next part you'll come to in your afternoon or evening, whenever you meet with your group, is going to be the stretching your budget. I encourage you, let them talk. It's amazing. People who've been on Ontario Works for a while or have to live on ODSP, well, they have struggles in some areas. Some of them have some great ideas on how to stretch that budget. And you'll find a lot of conversations. Somebody in your group will have one idea that somebody else hasn't thought of. And as they pool the resources together, they'll have the opportunity to stretch their dollar even further as they learn from each other. You may have to prime the pump a little bit, so make sure you have a few ideas of your own, and make sure that the ideas sort of match the income level that you're dealing with. We're not talking about making people rich or millionaires here or how to plan for RSPs. We're having people plan for everyday expenses. So as simple as as giving an idea of how you keep your children entertained at a low cost or no cost way, introduce them to the sports spectrum and what the city has to stretch. Those things are all valuable. There'll be some that would have thought of that in the group and will have positive things to say about it. There'll be others that would have not thought about it. So it's a great time of sharing, a great time of opportunity for them to learn from each other. And I know in the sessions that I have led in this manner, I myself have learned, and I'm writing down tips from other people and thought, oh, I've never thought of that. So enjoy that part of the session and let them talk. Now, Family Service Thames Valley has been part of the community for 50 years now. We have some great resources. So as a facilitator, if you find yourself struggling a little bit and have questions, talk to your coordinator. We'd be more than willing to sit down and speak with you or have you drop by the office. And for those participants that you have that might be struggling either with budgeting still and need someone to talk to, or maybe they're struggling with debt and they're not sure where to go, again, they can contact Family Service Thames Valley directly and ask for the credit counseling. You can talk to your coordinator. They can all get in contact with us. For those on Ontario Works will usually always cover the cost of coming in to see us. They see the value in what we do, and we have arrangements with them. For those that might not have that but still have a low income, we're willing to see them. We're not turning anybody away from the door. We do charge a fee for those that can, but those who can't, we're more than willing to sit down and to help them out. Our website has some resources on it. I'd encourage you to check that out. Also, some other specific websites that might be of help. The Financial Consumer Agency of Canada, FCAC, if you search that underneath Google, it's a wonderful resource. They have modules geared towards younger people, towards teens. They even have a personal assessment that you may be interested in doing yourself. And when you submit that, coming back to you will be some concepts, some ideas of areas that you may have holes in your understanding of finances, and they just encourage you to go through a self-learning. It's paced for yourself. You can do it right on a computer. The information is up to date. It's part of the Canadian government. It's one of their arms to help people understand their finances and be able to move forward. So I'd encourage you, enjoy your session, your time with them. Stay positive, do some reading, understand the resources that are in the community, and enjoy the session with them. Thank you.